And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, magic lovers of all ages.
Yes, all ages.
From the Game Haven, Riverside, Ohio, we are bringing you Friday Night Magic. We are Dayton Magic Club. I'm Ryan Johnson in the booth with Mr.
Scott Campbell,
the man himself. We're here for round 3. We have a pretty exciting feature match for you this time. It is, the names do need to be changed. That's okay. We'll get to that. It's Kyle McDaniel, again. We just saw him last round put up a very convincing performance from his Naya Planeswalkers deck.
Yes.
It's about what you'd expect. It's big mana. It's big Planeswalkers. All the hits. A lot of synergy, where the deck just kind of built up this board state that just gets this inevitable wave of pressure. There's tokens. There's a million mana. There's +1/+1 counters everywhere. It's just a delight. He is playing against a similar strategy in different colors.
Yes, David Martin, known for his Jund decks, although he was on Junk for a while, shortly after Journey, but he missed Stormbreath Dragon a lot, so he came back to Jund, and he'll be playing a Jund Walkers build.
Yes.
He does not wish to have his deck called Jund Monsters.
No, he gets very angry when you call it Jund Monsters.
Yes.
There's no monsters in the deck. It's all the hits again in these colors. So you're going to see Xenagos.
I think we'll see Nissa.
I think we're going to see Nissa. I don't know if Kyle's playing Nissa. We talked to him afterwards a little bit about his deck, but they were the last ones playing, so we didn't get to talk to him for long. I think David Martin's going to have Nissa, possibly.
Yeah.
Vraska,
yes.
Almost certainly, which is going to be very important in this matchup, I would think. But the advantages David Martin has in this matchup are a lot of cards that say destroy target Planeswalker.
Yeah, or just destroy target.
Right, exactly. Well, that functionally in this matchup are going to say destroy target Planeswalker.
Right.
You have Hero's Downfalls in some amount. You have Vraska in some amount. He may even go all the way up to Garruk. Some of the Jund Monsters lists do. Not all of them. It's not as common as I kind of hoped it would be.
Yeah, because Brandon Davis had one on the board, I think.
Yes.
He brought in. We just never saw it.
Garruk could obviously, the Planeswalker serial killer himself could be a big game here.
The apex of Planeswalkers, if you will.
I see what you did there.
Nice. I'm glad you did. Dice bouncing all over the table.
It is ridiculous. I could not tell who won the die roll.
I can't
It's
either.
completely out of control.
I think there was a tie and they rolled again or something.
So these guys are part of the Dayton Magic Club crew. David Martin and Kyle McDaniel, both big local tournament players. They both travel with the DMC crew out to a lot of the regional events and things of that nature. So they know each other pretty well. They know what each other are on. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this matchup out. I'm sure it's not the first time they've sat down in this room and played this matchup out.
Possibly been every tournament, as we hear from our level 1 judge, Cassandra Leluc.
So we have
the
a Sylvan Caryatid as the first play of the game.
Yep.
That's a big one, and I think we might see it answered by a Sylvan Caryatid. Both players content to develop their mana, control the top of their deck as necessary.
They're defending their board positions quite well. Yes. All the bad puns, folks. Just every single one.
So, Martin, considering his line, can't quite make out what's in his hand. I think that I see an Abrupt Decay.
It looks like it. Mana Confluence.
This could be Xenagos. It could be, I don't know if he plays any Voluptuosos. It is a Chandra.
Nice.
Chandra, I like Chandra here on the empty board. It's a cool effect. Obviously going for the 1 damages turn because he wouldn't be able to cast the spell or play the land. But Chandra on an empty board threatens to draw a lot of cards before you can deal with it. And again, going ultimate isn't really the plan here, although I'd love to see it go ultimate and hit something really sweet in this matchup into a board full of Planeswalkers. So we'll see. But really it's here to draw cards and clear the board out when the board gets congested. So we'll see how that develops here. Kyle doesn't have a great immediate answer to it. All he can really do is play creatures and attack it, which certainly is a reasonable line.
Playing that Courser into a land, into an Elspeth. I think that's an Elspeth on top.
Yeah, it is an Elspeth on top.
That seems pretty soft.
That's a pretty good turn.
What would be really sweet is if David Martin had Liliana Vess, being able to find a card and 0 Chandra. That just seems so good. Find all the tools you need.
Yes, indeed.
All right, looks like we're playing.
We are shocking ourselves. So, going to be generating a lot of mana. Although it's he looks like he wants to leave card hit up to block and playing Vraska. Vraska probably going to. No, Vraska. No, that's a Xenagos. Xenagos, yep. Plussing and then using that mana.
Getting a green and then the black to kill the Courser.
Yep.
Pretty good,
turn.
And then, of course, the one with the Chandra.
Yes. So, doing what these decks both want to do here, David Martin is the first to start assembling that unstoppable Voltron Planeswalkers. Although these ones don't work together in the same way we saw Kyle use to generate such a big advantage last round, where he was making tokens and then plussing the tokens and using the tokens to generate mana to cast more creatures and Planeswalkers.
Like he was multiplying.
Yeah, it was frankly, it was disgusting.
Yeah. So is this more like the Cars or the triple armed Voltron as opposed to the Alliance?
Well, step one. Let's come back to that because we see a Banishing Light.
Yes.
Now that's good in this matchup to have a main deck answer. I wasn't sure if Kyle had any main deck Banishing Lights, although David Martin does have at least Abrupt Decays, and he may even have Golgari Charms as well.
True. So, kind of wonder why we would want to take care of Chandra instead of Xenagos there.
I think Kyle is afraid of David just pulling ahead on both cards and mana if he left Chandra alone, especially since he lost his source of potential card advantage in Courser. And now David, of course, adds a Courser, which you can see the danger of allowing Courser plus Chandra to exist for too many turns together.
Right.
That could just generate an enormous control over the top card of your deck. And Xenagos makes a token. No point in attacking with it.
Now
not going to generate a lot of value that way. So we'll just be content to make a bunch of tokens, which we all know can lead to a lot of mana later on. I want to see it used to cast Garruk in the worst way.
It'd be awesome.
It would be so awesome.
Imagine if Apex Predators kill target creature ability was a sacrifice target creature instead.
Yeah, sweet.
It'd be really awesome here on this board stage.
Yep. Not that David feels like he's under an enormous amount of pressure. He's got to be wary of that Elspeth. It is going to happen eventually. Mm-hmm. At this point, the goal is just to create such an advantage board state that the Elspeth can't catch Kyle back up.
Right.
Which I think is possible to do, especially with Chandra to start keeping those tokens under control. If you can get ahead with the Xenagos tokens, it can be hard for Kyle to attack the board in a meaningful way. Again, these decks are not control decks. You know, they don't play a lot of ways to generate actual card advantage or to come back from behind when you're behind on board. Their goal is just to get ahead on board, bigger and better. Duel of Chandras. Chandra, an interesting way to keep a Planeswalker the only +1 under control.
Yes.
Man, you know Planeswalker I missed that'd be great in David's deck? Sorin Markov, the original Sorin.
Absolutely.
Loved the original Sorin.
Your Life is at 10.
Yes. His +1 was awesome, too.
The various cards like that, Sorin's Thirst, Sorin's Cure type thing.
Sorin's Thirst. So, David, with the turn again here, has Xenagos advantage on this board.
With Chandra, that can be attacked into. I kind of wonder if he has enough right now to deal with it.
Making a Xenagos token. Looks like we're on the attack Chandra plan and possibly +1. Yep.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep. Chandra good at controlling other Chandras, it turns out.
Yes.
Scavenging Ooze.
Seems like a good play. We saw that last round from Brandon Davis.
Yep, it was a big part of his ability to be in those games as much as he was. Yes. We spoke with Brandon a little bit after the tournament, or after the round. He was definitely aware of the specific lines he needed to find, and, you know, just that just didn't cough up the cards.
It's going to be really good here.
What's that?
Peak Eruption.
Yeah.
Blow that land up.
All right, we got a double Chain to the Rocks.
Or Maelstrom Pulse.
Maelstrom Pulse. That'd be a card to see back in cons, wouldn't it?
I don't think it'll happen.
You think it's too good? There's Pelucranos. That's one of Kyle's big trumps.
Yes.
That I don't know if David Martin has access to. Kyle can fight on the creature front maybe a little better than David Martin can. But we'll see if it's enough to come back from letting these Planeswalkers be active for as long as they have been. David, without an answer to Pelucranos currently on the board, we'll see if he has something in his hand. We haven't seen a lot of spells out of David Martin yet this game. Mostly just Planeswalkers and dudes.
Yeah. Holly right now can only take care of one of the Xenagos tokens, which if you kill one, leaving another, it doesn't really do a lot.
Looks like David is considering racing here.
Could be.
Yep. Pelucranos cannot block. Means Kyle will be taking 4 damage.
Something else appears to be happening. That
Mizium Mortars. That's a good turn.
Yep.
Gets rid of that, targeted, gets rid of the Pelucranos, and now we're back to David Martin firmly in control of the board.
Absolutely.
Every time Kyle has stepped up with a potential solution, David Martin has been quick to shut it down.
David Martin's been on this list for a while. He's actually done quite well at local Starship Game IQ events, things like that he has attended. So
yep.
He's very versed in the mechanics inside and out of his deck.
Absolutely. And you can see how important it is in this matchup to get ahead early, because it gives David Martin really control over the pace of the game. At every point, he can, because once you have so many Planeswalkers, and there's a Chain to the Rocks on a Xenagos token, which is kind of a sign of weakness.
Going deep. Going Xenagos.
Because when you have Planeswalkers in play, the quality of your turns go up. You can just keep taking more turns and plussing all your Planeswalkers, and it lets you really pull ahead in the game. The more turns you can do that, and David's been doing that for several turns now, and you can see that it's given him a situation where Kyle's playing 1 spell a turn, David answering with 1 spell a turn, and then plussing both Planeswalkers, which is really keeping them. Otherwise, they're really at parity at how they're developing the game.
Like, did he use 0 Shatter there?
I'm not sure.
It appears to be, because he flipped over the top part of his library. He does not have a course from play.
That is correct. It looks like a Hero's Downfall may, in fact, be the top card. And I believe we are going to probably cast that card, and we're going to kill Xenagos.
Yes.
It's a 4-mana 2/2, is what Xenagos turned into there.
Mana Confluence doing some work here for David Martin.
Yes, and also for Kyle McDaniel. David Martin has done a lot of that damage to himself. So we're going to almost certainly get in the red zone this turn.
Something else appears to be cooking.
I think it might be an Abrupt Decay for the token. It is. Oh, for a Chain to the Rocks, obviously. Yes.
Get back.
Scoos.
Very nice.
Yes. And we get in the red zone. Planeswalker's not under any real threat of being attacked down by that 1/2/2. Kyle really in no position to attack effectively either, as he would be in fact dead on board. I don't know what just happened there.
Some weird token representation perhaps, but
Kyle in a tough spot. So far is yet to draw the 6th land for Elspeth.
Yeah, it's been. There it is.
There it is. But
I'd say it's been quite a few turns, but I think it's a little late now.
I think it's a little late. Very powerful card. The issue here, of course, is Xenagos can make another guy. Elspeth can kill a token and deal 1 damage to Kyle. It's going to be. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Really needs a way to clean up this board, and I don't think his deck contains the way to do that.
Plus, I'm sure there's at least 1 creature, if not even more so, in the yard where he can pump his ooze.
Man, Scavenging Ooze is such a good card.
Yep. That will be going to the lands of Modern and Legacy here in about 3 weeks.
Yep.
Or exactly 3 weeks. Yes, breaking news, it's just in Khans of Tarkir releases 3 weeks from today.
Yep.
More to love it.
Pretty exciting times. Yep, kill a token, 1 to you. And Kyle had seen it.
Yes.
Pretty commanding performance there from David Martin. I don't know if Kyle's draw was just a little awkward there at the beginning. It took a couple of turns for him to start I mean, we didn't really even see a Planeswalker until the very end of the game.
Right.
Where David saw 2 pretty quick, and again, just a lot of Planeswalker activations, even when they're as somewhat innocuous as Chandra's +1, start to add up, start to generate an advantage.
Seems similar to the last game of last round where Brandon Davis threw the Hero's Downfall rather late in the game, and it seemingly had no effect on the outcome. With what with what David Martin has done here, it's felt like that for several turns, all he had to do was just draw a card and do stuff with his Planeswalkers, allowing him to essentially build up a hand to be able to answer anything that Kyle tried to play.
Yep, we saw a lot of Kyle casting 1 creature,
yes.
David Martin removing 1 creature, activating both Planeswalkers, passing turn.
Right.
For like 3 or 4 turns in a row there, and by the time Kyle could do anything else, it was just too late. With that said, I think I like David Martin's deck in this particular matchup.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I think that he has more. The Hero Downfall is a big game in a Planeswalker defined matchup. Vraska is a big game in a Planeswalker defined matchup. And then they are playing a lot of the same game plan.
Mm-hmm.
David can be more disruptive. He has access to cards like Thoughtseize. Where Kyle, his deck is full of a lot of Chain to the Rocks and creature removal and more mana acceleration, more air in the deck as the game goes long, and the game is going to go long. So, now with that said, Kyle's on the play. If he gets his mana acceleration out early and often and starts getting ahead, dropping bigger, more powerful Planeswalkers on the board, and getting that up on activations early, I think he certainly could be in this game. I think that David Martin's deck matches up well, but Kyle certainly has a game plan. I think a big part of that game plan is leveraging your increased amount of mana acceleration. I don't think David Martin plays Elvish Mystic.
No, I do not think he does.
And your Johnny is the big effect you have that David Martin doesn't have access to. If you get Johnny down, you can start seeing a ton of cards. At that point, you can start blanking or at least compensating for David Martin's increased amount of Planeswalker removal by just seeing more Planeswalkers. You start posting a Johnny a couple of times, he finds you an Elspeth, a Garruk, whatever's in there. It starts getting hard for David's 1-for-1 removal to keep up that kind of card advantage engine.
Or heck, the Elvish Mystic, as us older players like to just call Keyboard Elf.
Exactly.
He can be a 4/4 off of the Johnny.
That's true.
That can be pretty impressive in and of itself.
So I think if I'm Kyle McDaniel, you realize you have to be leverage that to get on the table first, and you have to take every advantage to get up on your relevant cards, because David is going to kill a lot of your cards you were counting on carrying the game for you with his discard spells and his removal. If you're David Martin, you just want to make your land drops, play your removal spells, and win the game with a Planeswalker. I think you want it to go exactly like game 1.
Yeah, you want to be reactive in the first half, proactive in the second half. Absolutely. If you're David Martin.
Once you've broken up Kyle's synergies, get him to play 1 spell a turn, which you can easily answer. If you let him get to the point where he's playing multiple spells a turn, or generating multiple spell-like effects a turn with Planeswalkers, your deck's not really equipped to catch back up from that. So
right. Stormbreath Dragon's Pro White will blank the Chain of the Rocks here too.
That's true. Is he playing Stormbreath Dragon in his monsters list?
I'm sure he is.
Planeswalkers.
Yes.
I do like Stormbreath Dragon. Well, answered by Elspeth. Also a great answer to Elspeth. It certainly depends on what order they are played in.
Right.
Very powerful magic card.
So do you think you would take those Stormbreath Dragons out for Sarkhan, the Dragon Week, or whatever his name is?
I've been saying it a lot tonight, but I'm excited about cons, and I like Sarkhan a lot.
I do too. I think in any type of red-based either mid-range or control decks, if Stormbreath Dragon is not in there, he fights for that spot, or he even fights for the Chandra spot.
And obviously, we haven't seen the whole set. Format might be in some unique way hostile to him, but on paper, he's very powerful. I've heard people complain that his ultimate wasn't as good, but I like his ultimate a lot.
You're drawing 3 cards a turn.
If you look at that game, if David Martin was drawing 3 cards a turn, I think he'd be able to cast all 3 of them.
Yes.
By the time that Sarkin's going to ultimate.
2 lands and a spell. Play the spell and this land and
then the other land is you're powering through it. You don't want it anyway.
Right.
So I think that effect is very powerful. I don't know. I think that he belongs in this kind of deck very much. He's a great clock. He helps you fight off opposing creatures that are threatening your other planeswalkers, so he defends not only himself, but your other planeswalkers as well. He fits right comfortably there in the curve after Xenagos.
There are 2 problems, though. They are in white. They're called Devouring Light, which was reprinted, and Pillar of Light, which nobody will see coming.
Yeah.
Not a soul. I saw that card, and I'm like, I have this 1 foil of this. I will buy 3 more. So yes, folks, I have a playset of foil Pillar of Light.
That's where you want to be.
Yep. Exile that Courser. What?
Looks like David Martin going down 6 cards.
Yeah, lots of mulliganing going on here. So I think both players are aggressively searching for that first opening hand that will execute their game plan.
Yeah, I think that's very important. As we keep coming back to with these mid-range Planewalker-dependent decks, they're really not designed to answer a clutter board state. They really don't play sweepers, except that now they both may have access to Mizium Mortars,
right?
Which will clean up the creatures, but doesn't answer the planeswalkers.
Right.
You know, once you get multiple planeswalkers out, the other deck is going to have trouble doing anything except removing them 1 for 1. So you want to be the first one out, and mana acceleration is a big part of that. Being able to answer your opponent's mana acceleration is a big counter strategy to that. We'll see how it works out. I'm very interested.
Yeah, I don't think Faded Retribution would fit well in the Kyle's deck with the number of planeswalkers he usually has.
That's true, but it's sweet card.
Yes. And he's got the mana to do it.
Yep.
He's playing float mana to play another
Both
walker.
players scrying. David Martin torn on this one. And decides ultimately to bottom it, pass it turn back.
So what kind of card do you look for in your first scry? Are you looking for another scry land, or are you looking for a spell?
I think it really depends on there's Thoughtseize, which I thought was going to be big in this matchup, and he sees Chandra, Elspeth, Caryatid.
Yeah.
He takes the Chandra, which I like because
he's going to rip something else.
Yep. I was going to say I like it because it's obviously the one Kyle can cast next turn. It gives you more turns because again, you want to be the first one down. But double Thoughtseize, they're very backbreaking, leaving Kyle with, as far as I can tell, nothing but mana sources.
Yeah.
We're going to shock ourselves here, and I believe that's going to be to cast a Courser. Yes. But back to your question about Scrylands, I really think that they're best used to sculpt whatever you're missing. So if you have a bunch of lands, you're looking for spells. You have a bunch of spells, you're looking for lands. And Kyle draws another Elspeth, which is going to be big here. Now, I think David has a Hero's Downfall.
Wonder what the issue was with the Elspeth there, but
making men.
Elspeth brings the boys to the yard.
I've heard that about Elspeth.
Damn right.
Not that I'm casting any sort of aspersions on her character. No. This looks like a Hero's Downfall.
And
it is. Which means that Elspeth is a triplicate spirits.
Yes.
Which is often fine, but not against this kind of big mid-range deck.
Is that... It's a Liliana?
Oh, I love Liliana so much!
It's so good!
For those of you who are watching that don't know, my daughter, who's 6 months old now, is named Liliana.
Yep. And is that Liliana and the Chandra?
Yes.
That is saucy.
That is a saucy one.
Let's do this.
Well, Liliana, it's got a really powerful effect. It's got a decent ultimate. I think people maybe missed the boat on that card when it was first in the standard.
Yeah. Well, I still rocked it in a brilliant Ultimatum Esper deck.
I love it.
Let's play this Emrakul for 7 mana. Take next turn. You're dead.
The thing about it is I think we were in a different way of evaluating the Planeswalkers then.
Oh, yeah.
People have realized just how powerful repeated effects like that are, even without the ability to immediately impact the board. That was the complaint and leverage at Liliana when she first standard commonly is. You play her, she doesn't protect herself, she doesn't immediately leverage the board. But look at this board state here. If she pluses here, God, there's just no way on earth to get her off the board.
No, not at all.
And then you got to worry about, is she going to minus? Is she going to plus again? Like, it can really just get ridiculous. And her ultimate is nothing to laugh at either.
He has not played a land this turn, so I think he can go get a land, put it on top, and then play that via Courser. Perhaps a scry land?
I don't hate that.
And then next turn, just get the combo going with Chandra. Oh, so gross.
Pretty gross. Chandra plus Courser is such a powerful effect.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we'll see plenty
It's going to be
that.
very good with fetch lands, too.
Oh, yes.
It's too bad that Domri never existed in standard with fetches, because in Modern there was a brief moment where Domri was really good, and part of that was the fact that you could peek at a card and scry it away, basically, with fetch land.
Yep. I think he'll be good again.
I think so, too. He's a powerful card.
Yeah.
I think it's not the fact that Domri isn't good, it's the fact that the decks he was in are being squeezed out a little bit. Yeah. The mid-range Zoo-style list has not put up a lot of good results lately. So David Martin is considering what card he wants. Looks like he's picked one. I didn't see what it was.
We'll find out here soon because it has to be revealed. It is
a Dreadbore.
That's pretty good.
Because I am not afraid of Dreadbore. I'm going to kill your Liliana.
Yep. Yours is Xenagos and just all in at your dudes.
Yep. He gets to eat one of your guys.
Oh, now I'm sad.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a 6-mana vampiric tutor that fogs. Sometimes that happens. You just have to be happy with it. 20 more planeswalkers where that came from.
She has 3 abilities. Play Treasure Find. Get her back. No way, that's a terrible card.
Don't do that.
No.
Alright, so we got a couple options this turn. We have Dreadbore, which I'd be pretty surprised if we don't see.
I don't think Cal has a way to protect.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
Xenagos, unless he somehow boards in.
We see Vraska. Very powerful.
That'll work too.
I was wondering if we would just see attack Xenagos, play Chandra plus Chandra is another way to get Xenagos off the table.
Yep.
But
he killed Courser somehow.
Oh, yeah. Mizzium Mortars.
Yeah.
So I think we saw the Planeswalker get played out that he was most willing to trade away.
Johnny just draw a handful of cards.
Johnny. Man, this is. I mean, David is doing his best. He's drawing a lot of answers, but Kylo's presenting the threats here, one after another, after getting double thought seized.
Yeah. Yes. For those just now tuning in to round 3 here at the Game Haven, where you get more free games. In game 2, David Martin did double Thoxey's Kyle McDaniel.
And took a Chandra and an Elspeth.
Yes.
So there we see Dreadbore come down.
Took all the single ladies.
But we're going to deal with what Johnny found. It wasn't much.
Got a Mystic, 3 tokens, and 2 plants on the board.
Those 3 tokens proving somewhat hard to answer.
But Elvish Mystic is dead.
Yep.
So Elvis has left the building.
It's a sad story. So Chandra, fairly good here. Not from necessarily another Chandra plus 3 guys.
Right.
Man, David was just really looking for Kyle to brick like once there.
Hey, what is that?
What?
Is that a Centaur healer?
That is a Centaur healer.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen that card in a long time.
Last time I saw that card, I was against Michael Barlow in his Centaur deck.
Last time I saw it, you could blink it with a Restoration Angel.
Yes.
That is a land on top, so we'll play that.
And
tapping 6 mana, Big Garuk? No, Overloaded Mizzium Mortars.
Yep. Kaboom. All the things. David Martin seems to find all the best cards when he's zero shotting.
I agree. It's been very impressive.
That was like a planar cleansing, in a way.
Courser flips mountain. Nice mountains. Nice lands in Kyle. Nice basic lands in Kyle McDaniel's deck.
Yes. My
personal favorite.
I like the foil Mercadian Maskland myself.
I like that one. I like how David Martin is arranging his land for this particular matchup.
Right.
Descending rows of 2.
There's a Garuk Apex Rider!
Oh, yeah, we got there, guys.
Let's kill Chandra?
I think we're probably going to kill Chandra here. Maybe we're going to determine resolves. I will target Chandra.
Boom.
Garuk's a big, we talked about this, Garuk's a big trump in this matchup.
Yeah. So good. And if he can stay on the board for at least one additional turn.
Yep, and Kyle only has 2 power on the board. He can't kill either of those planeswalkers. No.
That Courser, I believe, is next. And he will also gain David Martin life when he kills that Courser.
Toughness, right?
Yeah.
4 life.
Yeah.
Oh, big Garuk. I was hoping we'd see him, and we did, and it's just as good as I'd hoped.
Pretty good.
And Kyle has seen enough.
David Martin takes it down 2-0.
On the back of just an astonishing series of 1-for-1 removal spells into an insurmountable advantage generated by Planeswalkers. Kyle, after getting a double Thoughtseize, played like a Planeswalker a turn, like 4 straight turns.
Yeah.
And David was just there with the Dreadbore, the Hero's Downfall, the Vraska, and the Garuk in a row, one after another, just trumping every one of Kyle's lines until Big Garuk just became unbeatable.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because it's been a while since I've thrown down dice in a tabletop game, but I feel a multi-classed Ranger Barbarian is pretty hard to beat.
I would say that'd be hard to beat.
Yeah.
You have a lot of very important skill sets there.
Yes.
So that was a cool game.
That was.
I like these big Planeswalker decks. They're a lot of fun to watch. They have a lot of really powerful abilities. They just get to play these, especially in the mirror, they just get these big haymakers back and forth. And it looks like, from our operator, we're going to take this opportunity from a nice quick game to get some legacy on camera here.
Bonus round.
So, let's go figure out what's going on with that. Hey, Jacob, are you guys going to play under the camera there, or do you want one of us to come back?